ladies, I want to go ahead and share with you a brand new launch of a company called Alter Ego. The first product that they are coming out with is an eyeshadow palette called Temptress. Isn't that pretty? And you open up this palette, look at that. Doesn't that look like the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette? It is. It is a complete knockoff of that one, except without the expensive Anastasia Beverly Hills price. So what I've got set up in this video for you, I believe I've done 5 different eyeshadow looks using this palette. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start out by using this shade right here, and it is a matte, like a medium gray tone, and the shade of this is called Whisper. Let's go ahead and start in the crease area. The color is blending out really nicely. I've got zero fallout on this one. I'm going to go ahead and use this matte shade right here. It is called Blush. It's a really pretty, like a real corally, peachy tangerine shade. And just starting in the crease again. These shadows are very pigmented, very, very pretty. I'm having no problem at all blending this out. It's blending really evenly. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the shade right here. It is called Seduction. It is definitely more of a shimmer shade, and it's got just like a really pretty pink shimmer to it. It's really, really light pink. I'm going to go ahead and just pack this here on my eyelid. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and change things up just a little bit because it just wasn't, and for me, I should have known better. A lot of times when you do have a little bit more of a chunky, like shimmery type shadow, for me, it's always really best that I go ahead and just use like a MAC Fix Plus. It just really works better for me. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to load up my brush here with the shadow and spray a little MAC Fix Plus on it. And this also gets your the color to kind of pop just a little bit more. And it really does adhere that color really nicely to your eyelid. And it does help with a lot of, if you know, in case some shadows do have some fallout to them. So it really does help, you know, kind of decrease that fallout and kind of keep a lot of that, you know, that little glitter and sparkle off of the rest of your face. I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of this deep brown matte shade. It is called After Hours. I'm going to go ahead and apply this as like an eyeliner. Okay, this is the final look that I came up with. I did go ahead and add a little bit of mascara, and I did do a little tight lining as well. I could have easily gone ahead and added just a little bit of this deep brown matte shade or a little bit of this deep black matte shade to the outside corners of my eyes, but for me, I just wanted to go ahead and keep it a little simple today, and I really do like how everything turned out. Really pretty. Alright, so I went ahead back into the palette and I used a little bit more of this gray shade here, a little deepened it up just a little bit, and a little bit more of a deepening of this shade here called Blush. Now on the outside corners of my eyes, I went in with just a little bit of the matte brown shade here, and this one is called After Hours. So I just wanted to show you how you can, you know, go just a little light application, or if you wanted to, you can kind of boost those colors up just a little bit and get you into an evening time look as well. Let's start out with this shade right here, and it is called Lust. This is like a deep caramel matte shade. Go ahead and start out in the crease again. Right now I'm just building that color up just a little bit. I'm going to go back into the same color that we used yesterday, and it is called Blush. And this is a deep coral color, and it is also matte. Back into the crease again, and I'm just working this color just so slightly up into that first shade that I used. I'm going to grab a little bit of this shade right here that we used yesterday. It is called Seduction. Now this is definitely a shimmer shade. I'm just going to pick up just a tiny little bit of this on the top, on the end of my brush here. Spray it with just a little MAC Fix Plus. And what I'm going to do with this one is just apply it on the inside of my eyelid here. And I'm going to go ahead and drag it over about halfway on my eyelid. Back into the palette, and I'm going to pick up just a little bit of this shimmer shade right here called Champagne. Now this one is definitely a little bit more of like a medium pink, or a light to a medium pink, where this one right here is definitely a very light pink. Now this one I'm going to go ahead and place on the outside, going right up to the middle of that eyelid. And when you think you're recording and you're not, that's so frustrating. I'm so sorry. I came back and I said that I had added a little mascara, did a little tight lining. I picked the palette back up and explained that I wanted to go ahead and give a little something extra to what I did. So I wanted to go ahead and deepen up that outside crease area a little bit. I went in with just a tiny little bit of this matte black shade. It is called Stiletto. This shade is amazing. I mean, it is super pigmented. Super pigmented. Look at that. And a lot of times whenever you get into like the much deeper, like the blacks, the real deep burgundies, or, you know, some of the deep blues, a lot of times those, I mean, they hold the pigment, but a lot of times whenever you start blending them out, they blend out really splotchy, but this did not. I mean, it blended really nicely, really evenly, and zero fallout, none. So anyway, this is the final look that I created with this palette today. Okay, so for today's look, we're going to start out with the Uptown here, and this is a matte light brown shade. I'm just going to go ahead and just start up here in my crease as usual. I just want to go ahead and build this color up just a tiny little bit, so I added just a little bit more on my brush. I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of this matte shade here called Lust. Starting in my crease again, I'm going to grab just a little bit of this shimmer shade here called Ritz. And I'm going to go ahead and spray just a little bit of the MAC Fix Plus on it, which will help that shade adhere to my eye a little bit better. Cut down on the fallout as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and pack that all on my eyelid. I went ahead and added a little tight lining and some mascara. So this is what I've come up with so far. Now what I want to do is go ahead and build the colors up, the same colors, and also use just a little bit of a deeper shade in the crease area. I went ahead and deepened up those shadows just a little bit using the same shadows. Now on the outside crease, I went ahead and went in with the black matte shade here called Stiletto to just kind of deepen up that a little bit and just kind of change it up just a little bit. So another look that I came up with using this palette. I'm going to start out by using this matte shade right here, and it is called Uptown. It is more like a light cool brown. I'm going to go ahead and start out in the crease here and just build this color up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and pick up a little bit of this matte coral shade here, and it is called Blush. Starting back in the crease, and I'm going to work my way up with this shade. I'm going to also go ahead and bring this shade down onto my eyelid as well. Now with a flat shader brush, I'm going to go into this beautiful shimmery shade here, and it is called Sterling. I went ahead and loaded up my brush. I'm going to go ahead and spray a little bit of the MAC Fix Plus on. I'm going to go ahead and put this on my eyelid. I'm mostly going to focus this around the inside to about 3/4 over on my eyelid. I'm going to go ahead and pick up just a little bit of the shimmer shade here, and it is called Ritz. I went ahead and just picked just a little bit of it up on the outside corner of my brush. Go ahead and spritz it a little bit with the MAC Fix Plus. This shade right here, I'm just going to focus on the outside 1/4 of my eyelid. Back into the palette with this beautiful matte deep brown shade, and this one's called After Hours. And I'm going to apply this on the outside crease area. Alright, so here's another look that I did using this palette. I think it turned out really pretty. I did like how I was able to go in with just a little bit of that, the shimmer shade, the lighter shimmer shade, and I used it on my eyelid going on the inside corner almost about 3/4 of the way over, and then I came in with just a little bit more of a deeper shimmer shade and touched just a little bit here on the outside corner, and then also I did just a little bit of the deep brown matte shade as I went into the crease line. So overall, I think it's a really pretty look. I'm going to go ahead and start out in the crease with a little bit of this beautiful coral shade here called Blush. Just going right in the crease. I'm going to go ahead and take just a little bit of this deep brown matte shade here called After Hours. Back into the crease, and I'm going to work my way up just a little bit into, not all the way up to the brow, but just a little bit. I'm going to take just a little bit of this shimmer shade here called Seduction. I'm only going to use just the very end of my flat tip brush here. I went ahead and sprayed a little bit of the MAC Fix Plus on it, and I'm just going to go ahead and set it here on the inside corner of my eye and maybe go over like a half of the way over. I'm going to go ahead and use just a little bit of this shimmer shade right here called Mistress. Now I did go ahead and apply a little bit of the Matte Fix Plus. This time I'm going to use this on the outside corner and come in to kind of meet what the first shade that I already laid down. I'm going to go ahead and pick up just a little bit of this matte black shade here, and it is called Stiletto. I'm just going to focus this on the outside crease area and also on the outside eyelid. Alright, so this is the final look that I created with that palette. I love that palette. It is fabulous. I know that, you know, I could have created several more different looks, but I thought I would go ahead and stop here with this one. Okay, so all the other products that I used while I was working with this palette. For the primer, I used the Tarte Shape Tape, the eye primer, this one right here. And I also went in with the MAC Paint Pot because if you ever find that this one right here, the one from Tarte, for me it is just too like emollient, too, I don't know, I don't want to say greasy, but and it doesn't really give that much coverage for me. So I like to go ahead and mix just a little bit of the MAC Paint Pot. I don't know, just the formula of both of those together just work beautifully. You get a really nice coverage without, you know, any greasiness or, you know, without showing too much texture. So that's why I really like using the combination of those two together. Now on my waterline, my upper waterline, I just used this one here by Clinique. And the shade that I used is just, it's almost like, I guess, like a deep brownish with a hint of like a burgundy in it. So I really do like that one. And then on the bottom lash line, I used this one here from, I think this is Rimmel. I'll list everything down below. And this is just a really nice, just to go ahead and cancel out any type of redness. It's right over here. Any type of redness that you might have on that bottom waterline, and that just kind of gives your eyes just a little bit of that brightening effect. Bottom lashes is always the MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash. And then for my top lashes, I use, this one is the Estee Lauder, what are you? You are the Sumptuous Extreme. Love this mascara. It is great. And I forgot to mention what I set those eye primers with on what I set the eye primers with is my Osmosis powder right here, and I use just basically the lightest shade that Osmosis makes. I love this pressed powder, and I bought this one specifically for setting those eye primers. So anyway, those are the rest of the products that I used. Alright, so those are all the products that I did use. Now let's hop back over to the palette real quick again. I love this palette. It is fabulous. I believe it is $16. I mean, for all the shades that you get. I did not have any problem with the pigment or blending. I mean, they all blended beautifully. The glittery shades in here. I always use a MAC Fix Plus with all of mine. I had no problems, you know, with any type of fallout using the MAC Fix Plus. But I really did enjoy this palette, and I know that I could have come up with several more different looks. But alright, so the brushes that I received with this. I love these brushes, and I did use them in some of showing you the different looks and everything. This really big, chunky, fat, incredibly soft brush here, what I've really been loving using this for is my brow bone highlight. And I know this is a big, huge brush, but I don't know, I just put a little bit of the brow bone highlight on there and just kind of really, I don't know, it just really works for me, and just kind of, you know, blending out those other colors up there on my brow bone. It's incredibly soft, so I love that for that little particular job there. But anyway, keep in mind the palette I believe is $16, and you do get 2 free brushes with the palette, and I believe you also do receive free shipping. I'll link everything down below. I do have a discount code for you all. I'll list it up in here somewhere. Please know that I did receive these for free of charge. However, if you choose to go ahead and purchase a palette yourself, I'm making absolutely no money on it whatsoever, and the discount code is for you all, so I do want to let you all know that. I appreciate each and every one of you so very much, and as always, I wish you all a safe and a wonderful day. Bye. What do you want? Hi guys. Hi guys. What? What are you doing? Hi. Oh, thank Thank you. I love you. And I love you. I do. You want some makeups? You makeups? Huh? You want some makeups? You got pretty eyes. Okay, get down. Get down. Thank you. Got love from Gus.